Do you love action movies and thrillers? Are you curious if the guns the actors use on screen are real or just Hollywood props? Want to know exactly which model of firearm was used and how accurately the movie portrays it compared to the real thing? If so, you're in the right place. This channel was made for you.
Hello and welcome to Hollywood Guns. I'm your host Wilson. Whether you're into action flicks, classic thrillers, or unforgettable TV shows, this is the place where movie magic meets real-world firearms.
Few action movies of the 1990s managed to blend comic book intensity with real-world grit quite like this one. Based on a lesser-known Marvel character, Blade, played by Wesley Snipes, gave us a world where vampires walked amongst us, and only one man stood in their way. But it's not the blood-soaked nightclub scene, its killer soundtrack, or the martial arts choreography that made Blade a standout. It's the way the film took a low-profile comic book and turned it into a kinetic, high-stakes battle for survival, with a hero who was just as iconic as the gun he carried. For years, I assumed the Blade gun was a Hollywood creation, a prop cobbled together with CGI firing effects to look awesome on camera. But recently, I discovered it was actually a real production submachine gun, with a few additional items welded on for cinematic effect. So today, we're going to break down exactly what's real, what's not, and how this gun became one of the most memorable vampire-slaying sidearms in cinema. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an episode I've been thirsty to make for a long time. Join me as we dive deep into the story of the modified Ingram MAC-11 from Blade.
Jesus, that's him. It's Blade.
Background and history of the MAC-11. Once again, I'm on location filming the MAC-11, this one dressed with a suppressor, at the Firearms Reference Collection in Scottsdale, Arizona. Many of the exotic firearms you've seen on this channel are part of their extensive collection. So if you're enjoying these videos and you haven't already, please check them out in person or on their social media channels, and don't forget to send a thank you to them for helping entertain us all. Originally designed by Gordon Ingram in the early 1970s, the MAC-11 was conceived as a smaller companion to the MAC-10 in 45 ACP. I have a video coming up on that shortly on the channel as well. But the MAC-11, chambered for the 380 ACP cartridge, sometimes also called 9mm short, was meant to be small enough to conceal, yet capable of delivering full auto firepower in a tight package. The MAC-11 uses a simple blowback open bolt operation. Now that means that the bolt stays open until the trigger is pulled, and then it slams forward to strip a round from the magazine and fire in one swift motion. While this design is simple and cheap to produce, it also contributes to a blistering cyclic rate of fire, around 1200 rounds per minute. To put that into perspective, that's almost twice as fast as many other select fire rifles. And while that sounds impressive, in practice it means emptying a 32 round magazine in about 2 seconds. That's a lot of lead, but not a lot of control, which was a hallmark of the Mac family's spray and pray reputation.
What do I care? They're nothing but cattle, just like you said.
If you want to take the hard road, be my guest, pal. But I promise you, by the time this is over, you're gonna wish they never cut you from your mother's womb.
The design itself is extremely basic. A stamped steel upper receiver, a telescoping bolt, a bit like the Uzi has actually, that doubles as a weight to slow down the action, and a simple wire stock that folds out for shoulder firing. The barrel is short, around 5 inches, and threaded for a suppressor, like the one you see here, and that's a feature that found favour with special operations forces and obviously Hollywood armourers. Now, in terms of real-world adoption, the MAC-11 was never widely used by military forces in an official capacity. It did see some limited use by special operations units and law enforcement agencies, which you can see up on the screen, especially in situations where a compact automatic weapon was needed, like close-quarter raids or personal protection assignments. But its lack of precision and excessive rate of fire made it a niche tool rather than a standard issue choice. Many of its buyers ended up being civilian collectors and private security contractors. The story of the MAC-11 is also tied to the colourful and often murky world of American gun manufacturing in the 1970s and 80s. It is a contemporary of the Intratec Tech 9, which I've also featured on this channel, but my impression is that because the Mac is made entirely of all metal, it's likely the more robust of Firearm with a lot more longevity. I don't know much about its real-world use or its reliability, as I've not shot one of these, so if you have first experience, please share that in the comments. The movie gun versus this example. So that you have a reference for its size, here is the MAC-11 side by side with a regular 9mm pistol. And on the screen you can see some images of the actual prop used in Blade, and thanks to our friends from IMFDB, I learned that the extra part on the front was made from the rear half of its larger sibling's receiver, the MAC-10. And there's also some sort of support beam holding the muzzle device to the trigger guard for extra stability. I wasn't able to find any information on the prop house that made the weapon, where it is now, or what they were looking to achieve beyond aesthetics, but I can envisage a couple of practical-ish purposes for the muzzle device. First, the extra weight, probably a pound or two, will assist in keeping down the muzzle climb from the high rate of fire. And secondly, with a little bit of a stretch of the imagination, perhaps they intended it to look or act like a suppressor of sorts. Welcome to the intermission. Whilst I get on with the housekeeping, please take a look at some of these other movie guns and enjoy them. First up, I'd like to thank Sonoran Desert Institute. If you've ever wanted to take your passion for firearms to the next level, whether that's gunsmithing, shooting sports management, or learning about commercial drone operations, SDI has flexible online programs that can help you. Use the link in the pinned comment for more information. And also my own merchandise. If you like this content and want to support the channel, you can purchase an exclusive t-shirt that I designed, like this one, in the YouTube store, or find it via my website, hollywoodguns.com. And I'd also like to thank Guns International, the absolute best online location to track down regular, rare and collectible firearms without bidding wars or middlemen. You can browse listings, compare prices, and pick up some beautiful pistols like this Beretta 92. This one is an SB, but these have been used in numerous movies like The Matrix, Lethal Weapon, and Die Hard. And I'd also like to thank Guns International because we're giving away another great prize package in conjunction with them that we've done before. If you want to see who won that particular last prize, please check out the community tab in the YouTube application. And if you want to sign up to win a similar prize, check out the web link in the description and pinned comment. So once again, thanks to these sponsors. They keep the lights on. They allow me to keep making videos for you. Firearms accuracy of the MAC-11 in Blade. All right, you know the drill. Let's break down the scenes in Blade where he uses the MAC-11 and see how realistic or not they are compared to what we'd expect to see in the real world across three categories. Firearm capacity. Quick reminder, at 1200 RPM and with a 32 round magazine, he's got about 2 seconds of sustained auto fire. Let's watch the first scene. Wow, a tight burst within 2 seconds, a reload, pretty impressive, and another burst with what might just be a mag change at the end. Not what I was expecting. Let's go to the second scene. Just a short burst within magazine capacity. Okay, keep going, Blade. Third scene.
Mother's...
Three slow-mo rounds and another short burst. I mean, it was reckless, but at least no innocent bystanders are hit. Let's go, Blade! The fourth scene. Four generous bursts and then, fuck it. Blade just holds the giggle switch down. I timed that at 13 seconds. That's about 5 to 6 mags worth of ammo. Damn it, Blade! Grade F. Caliber capability. A lot of modern shooters write off the 380 as underpowered, but FBI tests show that it can reach 18 inches of penetration in gel, especially at close range. And with the MAC's insane cyclic rate, a target isn't just getting one round, there's a whole flurry of them coming behind it in milliseconds. Blade also mentions using hollow points tipped with garlic and silver. So of course, after a few hits, the CGI takes over and the vampires dissolve into dust. Well, how would that work? Has anybody tested these rounds on real vampires? No? Well, let's give Blade the benefit of the doubt then, after the last category, an award grade A, for absurd. But I guess not as bad as the physics-defying shotgun. Character accuracy. Could Blade make the shots he took? Positives first. All the MAC-11 scenes are in pretty close quarters, within 20 yards max. But there are two areas that stretch believability. First, the scene where Blade tries to shoot Frost in the park. He misses, even though the rounds would still be flying until they hit something. I guess it's very lucky no one else got hit there. Second, the one-handed firing. At 1200 RPM and 200 to 300 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, the gun should be climbing hard. Sure, the extra weight on the front helps, but those perfectly flat full auto bursts seem like a bit of a stretch. However, the counter-argument is that the gun was supposedly a real firing model, and perhaps they were still using blanks in the late 90s and not airsoft. So what we see on camera is maybe a real, albeit modified, firing sequence. Plus, Blade is half man, half vampire, and as Whistler says,
and he's got their strength.
So let's remember this movie isn't supposed to be about gritty realism, it's superhero fantasy, grade C. Overall grade for Firearms accuracy in Blade? Well, maybe this isn't the movie to judge against real-world performance, but honestly, I've seen a lot worse, especially in the Marvel superhero CGI slop universe that followed for the last 25 years. So final grade, C.
You're one of them, aren't you?
No. I'm something else.
Other movies where the MAC-11 appeared. The MAC series is another one of those notorious street guns that usually ended up in the hands of the bad guys on screen, and I've got a real soft spot for most of these old school metal SMGs like the Uzi, the MAC and the MP5. They're icons of an era that's mostly moved on, and perhaps just like the MAC-11, most of the movies that it's appeared in have a certain charm even if they do feel a bit dated by modern standards. Here are some of the standouts. Death Wish 4, The Crackdown from 1987. Already featured in my A-Team episode about the Mini 14 folder, Death Wish 4 is another vigilante action flick. Bit clunky, a little bit dated, just like Charles Bronson's aging vigilante Paul Kersey. But if you're a certain age and you're aging disgracefully, there's a ton of nostalgia here. Side note, if you want to see me cover the Wildy Magnum from these movies, please consider dropping a comment or even better, a donation or a t-shirt purchase. I gotta raise quite a bit of money because that beast goes for over $5,000 these days.
Well, as long as it gets here, goddamn ship.
What do you want?
You.
Hey, I didn't do nothing.
No, you just sell drugs to children.
Oh, come on, it's a business, man. I mean, I don't make the kids use drugs. It's their choice.
You don't do it, someone else will?
That's right. No, that's exactly right.
Total Recall. I'll be diving deeper into this one once I track down the Calico and Gaunt's pistols used throughout the film, but the MAC-11 also gets a mention here. One of the main villains, Richter, played by Michael Ironside, wields it as his primary weapon. What's fascinating is that this film seems to have kicked off a trilogy of movies where prop masters modified the MAC-11. Here, with a small square barrel shroud. Blade, of course, would take this idea even further. Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Part 3 in Robert Rodriguez's Mariachi trilogy, this one brings back Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek for some explosive fun. If you haven't seen it yet, please check out my episode covering Banderas' dual Ruger KP90s from Desperado. In this movie, Mariachi is recruited by a rogue CIA agent, played by Johnny Depp, and we see him blindly firing the MAC-11 in the final gun battle. Ultraviolet. Returning to the theme of modified MAC-11s, Ultraviolet puts Mia Djokovic front and center and pairs her MAC-11s with retractable katana blades. In recent years, the MAC-11 has mostly faded from modern movies in favor of newer firearms, but every now and then it pops up, usually to add some real menace to a nasty bad guy. One recommendation that I stumbled upon while researching this episode, 999 from 2016. It's a gritty crime thriller set in Atlanta, featuring a crew of bank robbers and crooked cops forced into a high-stakes heist to appease the Russian mob. Woody Harrelson and Kate Winslet both play against their normal type in this violent, unpredictable ride. In one standout scene, a gang member nicknamed Termite uses the MAC-11 to unleash absolute havoc against a SWAT team sent to take him down. And if you haven't seen this yet, please add it to your watch list and let me know what you think of it later.
Window!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please join me in the comments as I read all of them and let me know if there are any movies or movie guns that I've not featured yet on the channel that you think I should cover. And also, can you do me a couple of big favors, please? One, check you're subscribed and the bell icon is checked to alert you of future episodes. And also, please tell a friend about Hollywood Guns. Once again, I'd like to thank the Firearms Reference Collection for providing the firearm, SDI and Guns International for sponsoring this video, and if you want to enter the free prize drawing, click on the link and description in the pinned comment. I'll see you in the next one.
One other thing, buy yourself a gun.